Hello, everybody. My name is Grant, and I'm on a mission to watch every movie ever made so that you don't have to. The biggest movie of 2026 has just dropped this weekend in theaters, and it is blowing everybody away. Whether you've already seen this movie or you have a ticket and are just waiting to go, everybody is thinking about Ryan Gosling's Project Hail Mary. And with how much attention this movie is getting, there are plenty of us who either are waiting at home trying to get something like Project Hail Mary while we wait to see it, or you've gone to the theaters, you had an amazing time with it, and now you're out there wondering, what on earth am I supposed to watch next that's going to scratch that same itch? And so, what I've done today is I have found five movies that are pretty similar to Project Hail Mary in one way or another that I think you have to watch now, whether it's before or after you've seen Project Hail Mary. First up, only a couple of years old, we have the 2024 movie Spaceman. This is currently on Netflix and it was directed by Johan Renks. And this is a very introspective space drama starring Adam Sandler. Now, this is not one of his comedic roles. This is a very quiet, slow, dramatic movie where he plays a formerly Eastern European astronaut who is sent to be the first to witness this really strange cosmic phenomenon that's happening on the outer reaches of space. So he's in a race against some other countries like Korea, and he is out there in space alone. And he's left behind his wife, and there's a lot of emotional baggage that he's carrying, not just from his childhood and from a history with a father that was killed by the government that he lived in at the time, but also dealing with the fact that he has left behind his wife and the conversations that they had right before he left. So, like I said, it's a very slow and introspective movie that places him completely alone at first until he eventually befriends an alien creature, kind of like Rocky in Project Hail Mary. But unlike Rocky, where he's lovable and he's cute and everybody talks about how much they enjoy Rocky in the movie and in the book. The alien in this movie is not as immediately friendly and warm on the eyes. No, we meet a telepathic spider named Hanus, and this spider fills up the ship. He's probably half the size of the ship that Adam Sandler is in, and he's voiced by Paul Dano. So Adam Sandler is reasonably super concerned the first time the spider gets onto his ship, but eventually he and the spider start talking about the worlds they come from and the families they leave behind and the foods they enjoyed, whether that's basic human food for Adam Sandler or stoma larva for Hanus the giant spider. And immediately there's this genuine connection that digs into past trauma, present mistakes that they might be making, and what we all hold in store for the future. This movie has little of the flash or shine of Project Hail Mary. It's not something that is going to blow your socks off with the way that it looks. It was not an IMAX release, it was a Netflix original. But instead, it chooses to focus all of its time and all of its attention on just a slow, subdued approach to the isolating void of space. And with that void of space, the often larger gaps we find within our own homes and within our own families. Spaceman had some pretty mixed reviews when it came out, but I considered this one of the best movies of 2024 and certainly one of the best in Adam Sandler's career. So if you're looking for the type of movie that will take you on an introspective story of the human spirit in space, I don't think there's a better choice to follow up or precede Project Hail Mary then Spaceman. Second up, if we're talking about movies to see alongside Project Hail Mary, I don't think there's a better movie to talk about than the first of Andy Weir's novels that were adapted by Hollywood. In 2015, The Martian came out, directed by Ridley Scott and starring Matt Damon. Now, this was a huge movie when it came out. It was a major motion picture that everybody was talking about. And it was nominated for 7 Academy Awards. And this is a story of an astronaut named Mark Watney, who is a botanist on an expedition mission on Mars when a storm comes in and the astronauts are forced to evacuate. Mark is left stranded on Mars when he's unable to make it to the ship and left in his abandoned habitation pod with very little resources. He quite literally has to dig in to everything at his disposal. So he just has to get a grounds on approach to surviving on Mars with almost nothing. A basic habitation pod, some potatoes, and not much else. This is another example of Andy Weir's ability to tie hard science into a really compelling narrative as we watch to see if Mark Watney is going to be able to make it off of Mars and if he's going to survive. So, The Martian might be exactly what some of the more science fans of science fiction movies might be looking for after Project Hail Mary. And you can catch it right now on Paramount Plus. Now, if what you're looking for is another story of the lengths that we will go to as humans to protect our planet and the bravery and resilience required to do so, you might be interested in the 2007 movie Sunshine, directed by Danny Boyle. And this movie, out of all the ones on here, is absolutely star studded. I mean, this has Killian Murphy, Chris Evans, Rose Byrne, Michelle Yeoh, Cliff Curtis, Benedict Wong, Mark Strong. There are so many major names in here that you'll probably recognize at least two or three of the cast members. And it will really give you a personal connection to this crew that you're rooting for as they're on a mission to save the dying sun to prevent the Earth from going into an ice age. They are on this ship where they are supposed to basically launch a bomb into the sun to help restart the core of it and put some heat back out there into space. Now, much like Project Hail Mary, this movie is absolutely beautiful. Unlike Project Hail Mary, it takes a completely different approach to the wonder and expanse of space. If you've seen anything by Danny Boyle, you know his very unique editing style and his ability to weave horror into social commentary allows Sunshine to be, quite honestly, a terrifying watch. The way that he weaves in cutting sequences and little snippets of different scenes in for just microseconds into the movie really unsettles the viewer and leaves you feeling like something is incredibly wrong the closer you get to the sun. Like the gravitational pull itself is breaking apart the fabric of reality for these astronauts. And you really see the psychological toll that not just the overwhelming heat and energy of the sun can cause on somebody, but contrastingly, the emptiness and the most cold, bleak aspects of space. And you see this juxtaposed right against each other in a way that is really compelling and that Danny Boyle is able to do incredibly effectively. Sunshine is the perfect watch for somebody who wants another mission to save the planet, but one much darker than that of Andy Weir's world. Sunshine is currently available to rent or buy on major streaming platforms. For this fourth movie, we're actually going to stay on Earth for a little bit, but that doesn't remove any of the mystery or sense of wonder from Denis Villeneuve's 2016 release of Arrival. starring Amy Adams and Jeremy Renner as a linguist and a physicist tasked with talking to a race of aliens that has landed on Earth. Villeneuve does not keep this confined to just a simple alien movie. Okay, this is not just a base level, let's see what the aliens have to say. Are they here for good or bad reasons? Are we going to bring up the tank and start shooting at them? Is there a tiny hint of that in the movie? Sure. Is that what Denis Villeneuve chooses to make the movie about? If you've seen anything else Villeneuve has done, you know that's not what he's going to focus on. Instead, this becomes a heart wrenching story of grief, loss, and the absolute value of the human lives that we all live despite the pain and the agony of doing so. This movie is one of those few movies that can truly embody what the human spirit is all about and what it means to dedicate yourself to the people and the events in your life, knowing that there might be grief and that there will be pain, and choosing to do it all over again, anyways, because of course you would. These are the people you love, and these are the moments that you value in your life. And Arrival just truly breaks you down and puts you back together again with its ability to handle these themes so maturely and so poignantly in a movie about aliens. So if you want something like Project Hail Mary, where you're getting a lot of that human tenderness and that raw emotional core at the center, Arrival is the movie for you, and it's currently free for anybody on Pluto TV. And last up on my list, I know it may be a little silly, but I want you to stay with me. I actually have Wally. And I know you're probably thinking to yourself, I've already seen Wally. Why do I need to see it again? And you're absolutely right. You've probably seen Wally. Tons of people have seen this movie. It's beloved. Kids see it every year for the first time, for the second time. If you're an unfortunate enough parent, for the 100th time in the same year. But if there's any movie for kids to watch, I'm happy it's Wally. And really, when's the last time that you've seen this Pixar classic? If you don't have kids and if you're just living a regular adult life, when's the last time you genuinely stopped and revisited this Pixar classic? As a kid, I loved watching this movie just to laugh at the robot antics and cheer at the end of the movie. But as an adult, there's a new level of complexity that this movie has to offer. There's generally a raw potency to how this movie portrays the value that humanity places on our planet and on the world around us, and how this is something worth protecting and worth valuing. And if we don't understand that and we don't properly take the steps necessary to protect our planet, then we're going to lose it. This movie is also a huge example of how sometimes the strongest values of humanity, that resilience and will and fortitude, doesn't always come from humans. Whether that's Rocky in Project Hail Mary or Wally himself in this Pixar movie. We see that these things that don't look like us and don't sound like us and don't talk like us can mean a lot to us and can hold a lot of value, not just for Ryland or for the humans on that ship, but all of humanity and everything that we have done can be embodied in beings that don't even look like us. So Wally holds a lot of similar themes to a movie like Project Hail Mary and has a lot to offer if you just enjoyed the warmness of this movie, of how much it genuinely reflects on human emotions and brings in that lighthearted but still genuine human spirit to it. I think Wally and Project Hail Mary have a lot more in common than you may have originally thought when I brought it up. And of course, you can catch it really easily on Disney Plus. Guys, those are 5 movies that, whether you've already seen Project Hail Mary or you're just waiting for your opportunity to go, you should watch these ones along with it. Whether to just scratch that itch that you've been having Hey, I need to see another space movie that gives me the same kinds of feelings, or you just can't sit still in your house anymore. Hopefully, you are available to access one of these 5 options, and you can watch it and let me know what you think. But what if there's a movie that I missed on here that has a lot of similarities to Project Hail Mary? If you think there's something that I could have talked about that's an even better fit, let me know. Tell me down in the comments. I'm happy to check it out because I'm on a mission to watch every movie ever made so that you don't have to. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.